Hi, I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're going to go through the process of making stickers right from scratch, right from the very start to the very end, so you have a nice package that you can take care of. So I've got a little package right here that you can see. These are little cards with a lot of stickers on them. We're going to create something similar, not necessarily with hearts, but we're going to take you right from the start and how to set up your machine and make everything work for you. So I've just moved over to Cricut Design Space, and this is part one, the calibration. And we're going to take you through the whole process of the calibration. So let me just show you what to do to start, because when you cut your stickers, you want to make sure they're as accurate as possible. And a lot of people don't go through that process. They get frustrated with little white edges they weren't expecting, or it's off center. Well, we don't want to go there. So we're going to come right over here to this, what we call the hamburger menu. Just going to click on it, and I'm going to click on a calibration. Now it's machine calibration. It's got a rotary blade, a knife blade, or print then cut. We are going to be doing print then cut. So I'm just going to start by turning on my machine and go to the print then cut. Now, the first thing it wants you to do is print a calibration sheet. So I picked my printer here. I'm going to have to pick my inkjet. And then I'm going to click on print. And I just have to wait a second or two for it to print for me. And that shouldn't take very long. And then I'm just going to continue here. Now, this is the sheet that it's going to print out. So we've cut the calibration sheet, set a machine to calibrate, and I've got a maker 3, so I'm going with my Bluetooth. And I will pick up my paper from the printer. And it's looking for me to load my mat. And I am going to load that mat. And I will just show you what's going to happen over here. See, we have a video here. We're just moving over to background. We'll have none, so you can see everything that's going on here. Now we're going to be loading up the mat. Well, I've taken it off the printer and I have my fine cut blade in place. I need to just make sure this is going to stay on the mat. Move this up a little bit so I have some room to work. And calibration is a really important part because you want to make sure you're getting a nice center cut. So we just load it, and it'll just take a second or two for it to go through. And what it's going to do is it's going to go to that center square, and it's going to cut that center square, and I'm to tell it if it's off or it's on or what it is. Let me just get the cutting blade going. And it's just measuring the side to see where the sides are. That's what the black line all around means, that it has a calibration itself so it can read where the different elements are. And you need that for sticker paper because you want it to then go through it and cut accurately. Now I have a couple here where the cut wasn't quite right, and I just placed it here, if you can see this, where I've got a nice white edge around the edge, and that's not what I wanted, so I knew I had to calibrate. Now it's still testing. It'll just take a second or two. But the important part, once it does the cut, you have to tell it, is this accurate or is this not? Spit it out. It's not asking you to remove the mat, but you have to check to see if your lines are right on the cut. Well, I have already calibrated mine, so I know mine are. And it doesn't matter whether I say it is or it isn't, it wants to be able to let you know exactly what it is. So on the screen, it's now asking me, did the cut fit or did it not? And if I tell it it did not fit, then it's going to then cut the other lines. If I tell it it is going to fit, then it is also going to. So if I click on no, I'll show you what happens. I'm going to click no and continue, and it won't matter if I click yes. So if you're right on the money with your square, that works out beautifully. It is going to cut each of the lines at the top and each of the lines going down the side. And then it's going to ask you what lines fit and what lines do not. See, mine was right on, so I didn't really need to make this adjustment, but it does cut it anyway, no matter whether you say yes or no. So don't worry about it if it came up and started to cut anyway. And as that's cutting, I am going to then come over here and I'm going to share the screen. Just 1 second. As you can see, I've got it cut. And when I take a look at it here, I'm saying, okay, looks like the number 12, 11 or 12 is perfect. I'm going to say 11. If I come down here, I notice that my L is perfect. It's right in the middle of the line, and that's what I'm looking for, 11 and L. So that's what you're looking for. You want to discover those. Now, if I go over into Design Space, it'll ask at the top, what is it? Well, we had number 11 is the one that fit. And going down the right, we had an L. So I'm just going to put it at L. And then I'll click continue. You need to reprint and retest your machine, unload the mat and click continue. It's going to take you through the same process. And you're going to want to have another one printed. It'll push it through again. I'm just going to cancel mine because I'm already calibrated. So let me just click X. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. So it's just going to eliminate it. But as you can see, I could print another one of these. And if I pull this up, I'm just pulling it up badly right now. Usually roll the mat off. Just plain paper. As you can see, my square cut out perfectly. And if yours is off, it wants you to do the same process for a second time. And that's going to be really, really, really important. So let's just share the camera again. Okay. Let's see right here. Okay, you can see it all right. So I'm just going to roll this off. Move it out of the way. And I don't know if you can see, but if I put my fingers through, you can see that the number 11 is the perfect cut, and the L, like we chose before, is the perfect cut on the side. And that's what you're looking for when you're doing a calibration. And you want to make sure this is going to cut right out of the center. So that is perfect. We have ours set up. Now it's time for you to make sure yours is set up. And you really need to do this calibration before we go ahead and start making some of our stickers. So this is the end of part 1. You will now next want to go to part 2, and we're going to start working on building our stickers.